We stopped saying what we needed, started choosing every word, held our feelings like they'd shatter if they were ever hurt. I miss when love felt simple, when honesty felt kind. Somewhere between careful silence, we stopped feeling safe. I felt it in the way you touched me, like love learned how to brace. Some hearts don't close from anger, they close when they don't feel safe. We stopped feeling safe to say what hurt inside. We chose quiet over truth just to keep the peace alive. We didn't stop loving, we just stopped being brave. We stopped feeling safe, and love quietly slipped away. You looked at me like one wrong word might make me leave. I smiled like I wasn't breaking, just to let you breathe. We learned how to tiptoe through us, never standing too close. And love became a careful place where no one dared to go. I thought silence meant protection, that calm would help us stay. But love can't live where truth feels dangerous, where hearts are afraid. We stopped feeling safe, still holding hands at night. But our words stay guarded, even when they wanted light. We didn't ever shout it, just a slow, uneasy change. We stopped feeling safe, and love forgot its name. Maybe love needs shelter, not walls built out of fear. Maybe one honest sentence could have kept us here. I don't regret the love we shared, I regret the risk we refused. Because love doesn't die from truth, it dies when safety is removed. Now I walk with softer courage, learning how to speak. I won't build love on silence or pretend I'm not weak. Still some nights I hear the echo of who we used to be before we stopped feeling safe. To be honest with me, we stopped simple sentences, like you didn't want to bruise the truth. Said you needed something different, but never said you were already through. I watched you pack your silence, carry it out of the room, but love was still sitting with me long after you moved. I felt the end before it happened, in the way you wouldn't stay. Some people leave before they're gone, but love doesn't always go the same way. Love stayed longer than you, long after you let go. It lived in empty mornings and the things you didn't know. You walked away when it got heavy. I stayed feeling it through. Love stayed longer than you, and I did too. Your name still fills the quiet, even when I try to move on. I find you in the smallest habits, in the songs we used to turn on. You learned how to leave cleanly, I learned how to hate, and love kept breathing softly in the space you couldn't take. I thought time within the feeling, that distance would help me choose, but time just showed me one clear truth. Love stayed longer than you. Love stayed longer than you, even when you didn't try. It stayed in the questions you never answered, never denied. You stopped choosing us one day. I didn't know how to love. Stayed longer than you, and I paid for it too. Maybe love isn't meant to be fair, or leave when someone does. Maybe it lingers where it mattered, even when the other heart cuts. I don't regret loving you deeply, I regret the timing we knew, because love doesn't follow people, it stays where it once was true. Where it once was true. Now I walk through softer evenings, learning how to let you fade. I don't chase what didn't stay, I don't beg love to change. Still some nights I feel it stirring, gentle, broken, true. A reminder that love stayed longer than the part of you that knew. Love stayed longer than you, but I'm letting it rest now. Not erasing what we were, just accepting how. I'll carry the feeling with tenderness, not regret, not blame. Love stayed longer than you, but loving you still meant something all the same. Some love doesn't leave with footsteps, it stays after some has already gone. afraid to say your name. I hid my heart behind patience, called waiting, being brave. I watched you drift through moments like I wasn't meant to stay. So I learned how to love you in ways that wouldn't get in your way. I held my truth between my breath, never letting it be heard. Some love doesn't die from distance, it dies from swallowed words. I loved you in silence while you spoke to someone else. I carried all the feeling all alone by myself. I didn't ask, I didn't fight, I just hoped you'd see. I loved you in silence, slowly love me back. You smiled like nothing was wrong. I smiled just the same. I learned how to disappear so you'd never feel the way. I told myself this was kindness, that love shouldn't demand, but my heart grew tired of hiding while reaching for your hand. I thought quiet meant devotion, that last would keep you near, but love can't live in hiding. It needs someone to hear. I loved you in silence through every sleepless night. I watched you choose a different road while I stayed out of sight. You didn't know what I was losing, what it cost to let you be. I loved you in silence until silence started breaking me. Maybe love needs courage, not patience dressed as peace. Maybe saying how you feel is the only way hearts can breathe. I don't regret the love I felt, I regret the voice I hid, because loving someone quietly still hurts when they never did. Now I walk with quieter truths, learning how to speak. I won't bury my feelings again, just to keep someone at ease. Still some nights I feel your name echo soft and thin, a reminder of how deeply I loved you. And I loved you in silence, but I won't do that again. Not erasing what I felt, just forgiving who I was then. I love out loud when it's real, I won't hide where I stand. I loved you in silence, but now I choose my own voice instead. Some love isn't quiet by nature, it becomes quiet when one heart is afraid speak. We laughed like nothing was breaking, planned days we never reached, spoke about the future lightly like love was guaranteed. We didn't mark the last moment, didn't hold it in any tighter. We were busy living normally while love was quietly unraveling. I felt the shift too late to name in the calm we trusted most. Some endings don't arrive with warning, they arrive when no one notices the close. We didn't know we were ending when we said see you soon. We thought we still had time left, didn't know that was the last tune. We didn't fight, we didn't fall, we just slowly stopped pretending. We didn't know we were ending until love was already ending. You kissed me like it was normal, like nothing had changed at all. I memorized the smallest details, not knowing I'd need them to recall. We left words unfinished, saved honesty for another day. But another day never came, and love learned how to fade. I thought silence meant stability, that calm meant we were strong. But calm can hide a quiet goodbye for longer than we know. We didn't know we were ending when we turned out the light. I didn't know I was losing you in the middle of an ordinary night. You didn't say you were done, you just slowly stopped defending. We didn't know we were ending until love stopped trying. Maybe endings don't need anger or a final breaking sound. Maybe hearts just drift apart while bodies stay around. I don't regret the love we lived, I regret what we assumed. Because some goodbyes only hurt when you realize they already happened too soon. Now I walk through quiet memories that don't feel finished yet. Every smile, every almost still holds a little regret. I'm learning how to forgive us for not seeing the signs. We didn't know we were ending because love left quietly behind our lives. We didn't know we were ending, but I know it now. Not blaming what we couldn't save, just understanding how. I'll hold the memory with kindness, not regret, not blame. We didn't know we were ending, but loving you is still something all the same. Some endings don't say goodbye, they pass as ordinary moments you don't recognize until they're all you have left. used to feel steady, like you meant every step. You asked how I was feeling, you noticed what I kept. But slowly your replies grew thinner, your presence less sincere. I felt the change before you spoke, your effort started disappearing. I noticed how you showed up less, I would try and felt delayed. Some love doesn't end in heartbreak, it ends whenever fades. Your effort slowly disappeared while mine stayed wide awake. I kept reaching for us both while you learned how to let it slip away. You didn't say you were done, you just stopped being there. Our effort slowly disappeared, and I was left carrying the care. You still said all the right words, but they didn't land the same. Your actions felt like habits, not love calling my name. I kept lowering my expectations, calling patience being kind. But love shouldn't feel like waiting for someone to try on time. I thought understanding would save us, that less would help you stay. But love can live on intention alone, and needs effort every day. Your effort slowly disappeared, still smiling like nothing changed. I held on to the memory while you quietly rearranged. We didn't end in anger, just absence growing clear. Your effort slowly disappeared, and so did everything we were. Maybe love needs consistency, not a promise said once. Maybe effort is the language that tells a heart it belongs. I don't regret the love I gave, I regret what I excused. Because love doesn't fade from lack of feeling, it fades when effort is removed. Now I walk with clear boundaries and knowing what I need. I won't chase fading gestures or beg someone to believe. Still some nights I feel the ache of how I try to care, how I stayed long after your effort wasn't there. Your effort slowly disappeared, and now I let you go. Not erasing what we shared, just accepting what you showed. I'll choose a love that stays present, that doesn't disappear. Your effort slowly disappeared, but mine finally would fade. Some love doesn't leave with goodbye, it leaves when effort stops showing up inside. Takes its place. but I felt miles away. You were right beside me, yet somehow not here to stay. I talked and you listened, but your eyes looked through. That's when I started realizing I felt alone with you. I felt the emptiness growing in the space where love once stood. Some loneliness isn't from being alone, it's from being unfelt by some we long you love. I felt alone with you, even when you held my hand. I shared my heart out loud while you barely tried to understand. We stayed together physically, but emotionally we were through. I felt alone with you, and that hurt more than losing you. You stopped asking how I felt, started answering for me. I learned how to swallow tears just to keep things easy. I needed warmth, I needed truth. You needed space to breathe, and love became a quiet room where I was there, but unseen. I thought closeness meant connection. Let's stay and then we'd heal. But love can feel lonelier than distance when the other heart stops feeling real. I felt alone with you, still sharing the same bed. I cried quietly beside you over words we never said. We didn't end with anger, we didn't fight it through. I felt alone with you until alone felt easier than loving you. Maybe love needs presence, not just bodies side by side. Maybe silence isn't peaceful when it's used to hide. I don't regret loving you honestly, I regret ignoring the sign that feeling alone with someone is the loneliest kind of goodbye. Now I walk through quieter days, learning how to feel whole. I won't stay where my heart feels small, or where I'm loved in control. Still some nights I feel the echo of what we tried to do, how I stayed longer than I should have. Feel alone. I felt alone with you, but I won't feel that again. Not blaming what we couldn't save, just choosing where I stand. I'll open my heart where it's meant, where love feels honest and true. I felt alone with you, but now I choose me too. Some love doesn't end in hate, it ends when even alone together hurts more than being alone apart. You said you loved me in pieces, gave what felt easy to give. You showed up when it was simple, left when love asked you to really live. I I kept stretching my expectations, calling less being fair. But love kept asking for presents. You were never fully there. I felt the gap between your words and the way you turned away. Some love doesn't break from cruelty. It breaks when effort stays halfway. Love asks for more than you gave, more than silence, more than time. I gave you all of my heart. You gave me parts of mine. You stayed just close enough to keep me, never close enough to stay. Love asked for more than you gave, and I paid every day. You listened without answering, held my hand but not my fear. I learned how to soften my needs just to keep you here. You called it taking things slowly, I called it love being kind. But love shouldn't feel like waiting for someone to decide. I thought understanding was loyalty, that patience would feel brave. But love can't survive on intentions alone. It needs what you actually gave. Love asks for more than you gave. Still I tried to believe. I filled the silence with hope while you slowly learned how to leave. We didn't end in a moment, we faded in quiet ways. Love asked for more than you gave, and I stayed too long to pray. Maybe love needs courage, not comfort dressed as care. Maybe staying present is the promise that shows you're there. I don't regret the love I offer, I regret the truth I delay. Because love doesn't ask for perfection, it asks to be met halfway. Now I walk with clearer boundaries, learning what love should feel. I won't beg for consistency or mistake less for real. Still some nights I feel the ache of what I try to save. How love asks for more than you gave, and I gave anyway. Love asks for more than you gave, and I'm finally letting go. Not erasing what we were, just accepting what you showed. I'll keep my heart for someone who meets me where I stand. Love asks for more than you gave, but loving you still taught me who I am. Some love doesn't end in anger, it ends when one keeps giving and the other never learns how to give back. packed your things so carefully, like you didn't wanna hurt. You said you needed distance, like feelings could be reversed. I watched you walk away slowly, trying not to fall apart. But you didn't take the memories, you left them in my heart. I felt the weight of what remained after you were gone. Some people leave with closure, others leave the feelings behind. You left the feelings behind, right here with me. You took the easy parts of love, left the rest for me to keep. You moved on into silence, I stayed learning how to breathe. You left the feelings behind and they still live in me. Your voice still echoes softly in rooms you'll never see. I replay unfinished moments like they're asking something from me. You found your peace in leaving, I found mine in trying to heal. But it's hard to let go of love when you're the only one who still feels. I thought time would carry it away, that distance would be kind. But time just taught me one hard truth: you can leave a person, but not the feelings behind. You left the feelings behind, like they were mine to hold. I carried all the meaning while your silence turned cold. We didn't end in anger, we just stopped trying to align. You left the feelings behind, and I'm still learning how to leave them to a time. Maybe love doesn't lead together, maybe hearts let go at different speeds. Maybe one walks into freedom while the other stays with the needs. I don't regret the love I gave, I regret the balance we didn't find. Because love hurts the most when one leaves, and leaves the feelings behind. Letting memories speak and fade. I don't chase what already left, I don't beg love to stay. Still some nights I feel them stir, soft and finished, true. The feelings you left behind when you left me too. You left the feelings behind, but I won't hold them forever. Not erasing what we were, just releasing what couldn't stay together. I'll carry myself with kindness, not regret, not blame. You left the feelings behind, but healing is teaching me how to gently do the same. was left behind. I waited through the warning signs, called out just a phase. I trusted every gentle excuse, let hope lead the way. The truth stood right in front of me, but I looked the other way. I believed in what we could be, not you wouldn't say. I felt the answer in your silence, but I stayed to feel less alone. Some truths don't hurt because they're sharp, they hurt because you wait too long. I waited past the truth, past what my heart already knew. I stayed when love was asking me to finally choose me too. You didn't lie, you just didn't stay. And I pretended that was proof. I waited past the truth until waiting broke me through. You spoke in half commitments, I heard promises instead. I filled the space you wouldn't cross with things you never said. I kept hoping time would change you, that patience would feel wise. But patience turned into a place where honesty went to hide. I thought love meant staying longer, then leaving meant I failed. But love shouldn't feel like holding on after the truth has already exhaled. I waited past the truth, still calling it belief. I wore denial like devotion, let it sit inside of me. You were already halfway gone, I was begging you to choose. I waited past the truth until love couldn't breathe anymore. When we feel love needs honesty, not hope stretched too thin. Maybe knowing when to walk away is the bravest kind of staying in yourself again. I don't regret the love I felt, I regret the time I used. Because love doesn't leave without warning. We leave when we refuse the truth. Now I walk with clearer vision, learning how to trust my voice. I won't silence what I feel again, just to keep someone's choice. Still some nights I feel the ache of all I try to prove. How I waited past the truth and almost lost me too. I waited past the truth, but I won't do that again. Not erasing what we were, just respecting where it ends. I love with open eyes this time, not fear of what I'll lose. I waited past the truth, but now I choose me too. Some love doesn't fail from lack of feeling, and it fails when we stay after the truth has already spoken. We stop reaching each other without ever saying why. Hands stayed close but never met. Eyes passed right by. I used to lean towards your silence. You leaned away from mine. And somewhere between effort and fear, we let the distance decide. I felt the moment we both paused, waiting for the other to move. Some love doesn't end from losing feeling. It ends when neither reaches through. We stop reaching each other and called it being fine. We stood on opposite sides of love at the same exact time. We didn't break, we didn't fall, we just stopped trying to. We stopped reaching each other and loved it too. Your messages grew lighter, mine grew heavier to send. We both waited for a sign the other would bend. I learned how to hold my questions, you learned how not to ask. Love became the quiet space between what we felt and what we never passed. I thought, wait a minute, respect and space, that time will pull us through. But love can't live on patience alone when no one reaches to. We stop reaching each other, still sharing the same nights, but our hearts, they guarded even when they wanted light. We didn't say we were done, we just slowly withdrew. We stopped reaching each other, and I felt it was true. Maybe love needs movement, not silence dressed as calm. Maybe one small step forward could have kept us warm. I don't regret the love we shared, I regret the pause we chose. Because love doesn't fade in distance, it fades when no one goes. Now I walk with open hands, learning when to let go. I won't wait in stillness again for someone who won't show. Still some nights I feel the echo of what we didn't do, how we stopped reaching each other before we ever really knew. We stopped reaching each other, and now I understand. Love needs more than quiet hope, it needs someone's hand. I'll reach for love that reaches back, not fear dressed up as truth. We stop reaching each other, and I'm choosing movement free. Some love doesn't end in goodbye, it ends both hearts stop reaching and wait for the other to move. Your care used to feel steady, like I mattered where I stood. You checked in without me asking, you noticed what you should. But slowly it felt lighter, easier to forget. I felt the shift before you said it, in the way you stopped protecting what we had. I noticed how your presence then, how effort came and went. Some love doesn't vanish suddenly, it fades when care loses its way. Your care felt lighter every time I reached for you. I held on to every moment you let them slip through. You didn't stop caring loudly, you just cared less each day. Your care felt lighter and I felt the heaviness stay. You still asked how my day went, but you didn't really hear. Your words stayed kind but distant, like your heart was somewhere near but not here. I kept lowering my expectations, calling less understanding. But love shouldn't feel like adjusting to someone slowly unhanding. I thought patience would remind you of what we used to be, but patience only shows the truth when care stops choosing me. Your care felt lighter, still warm but barely there. I leaned into what was missing. You leaned away from care. We didn't break, we didn't fight, we just slowly changed. Your care felt lighter and love couldn't stay the same. Oh, maybe love needs consistency, not kindness once in a while. Maybe caring is a daily choice, not something that fades with time. I don't regret the love I gave, I regret what I ignored. Because love doesn't end from cruelty, it ends when care gets bored. Now I walk with clearer boundaries, knowing what love weighs. I won't chase fading tenderness or stay where care decays. Still some nights I feel the echo of how I tried to stay, how your care felt lighter long before you walked away. Your care felt lighter and now I set it down, not erasing what we were, just accepting what I found. I'll choose a love that carries weight, that doesn't drift away. Your care felt lighter, but mine taught me what should stay. Some love love doesn't end with goodbye. It ends when care stops feeling heavy enough to hold two hearts. I stay too open, where you see every part. I gave you my softest places, trusted you with mine. I didn't hide it when I was hurting, didn't lock a single door. I thought love meant staying uncovered, and when it hurt more and more, I mistook honesty for safety and closeness for being chosen. Some hearts don't break from cruelty, they break when one stays too open. I stayed too open while you stayed unsure. I gave you all my feelings, you kept yours secure. I let you see my weakness, you learned where I would bend. I stayed too open, and love didn't know how to defend me in the end. I spoke before I was ready, shared fears you never met. I explained myself too often, hoping you'd care enough to get it. You listened but never entered, you watched but never stayed, and every truth I laid between us became something I paid for anyway. I thought being transparent meant connection, that real love didn't hide, but love needs balance and boundaries too. Not one heart open wide while the other stays outside. I stayed too open, still believing you'd step in. I kept the light on in my chest, you stood at the edge again. You didn't break me intentionally, you just never came inside. I stayed too open and learned not every love knows how to handle what you give. Maybe love needs protection, not walls but gentle doors. Maybe being open should be mutual, not one heart exposed while the other ignores. I don't regret being honest, I regret the lesson it showed, that vulnerability without reciprocity can feel like being left out in the cold. Now I walk with softer boundaries, still kind but not undone. I won't give my whole heart freely to someone who only wants some. Still some nights I feel the ache of how deeply I tried. Now I stay too open for a love that never stepped inside. I stay too open, but I'm learning now not to close my heart completely, just to choose who and how. I love with honesty and care, but not at the cost of me. I stay too open, and now I'm learning where my heart should be. what's been opened. We loved with different strength. I felt it every day. I lean into the feeling you love from a safer place. I carried all the weight of us. You carry what you could. I called it understanding, even when it hurt more than it should. I felt the imbalance growing in the way we tried to stay. Some love doesn't break from hatred, it breaks when hearts don't carry the same weight. We love with different strength, and I felt mine giving more. I fought for every moment you stood closer to the door. We didn't stop caring, we just loved unevenly. We love with different strength, and that changed everything. You needed space to feel okay. I needed closeness to breathe. I asked for reassurance. You asked me to believe. I kept adjusting on my knees so you wouldn't feel too much. But love shouldn't feel like shrinking just to keep someone in touch. I thought compromise meant devotion, that less would help us stay. But love can't survive on sacrifice alone. Loving someone harder doesn't mean they're loving you the same way too. Now I walk with clearer balance, learning what love should feel like. I won't carry two hearts again or mistake uneven effort for fate. Still some nights I feel the echo of how deeply I tried. I will love with different strength than I love from the side they've been too far. We love with different strength, and now I understand. Love needs more than feeling, it needs two steady hands. I'll give my heart where it's matched, not stretched beyond this length. We love a different strength, but that love still taught me what real balance meant. Some love doesn't fail from lack of care. It fails when two hearts love with different strength, and one always carries more. You were letting go quietly before I noticed the change. Your voice stayed kind and gentle, but your eyes stopped saying my name. We still share the same routines, still laugh the same way, but something in the way you stayed told me you were already half away. I felt the distance growing in the spaces you didn't fill. Some love doesn't leave with honesty, it leaves when the heart gets still. You were letting go quietly while I was holding on. I was fighting for tomorrow, you were already moving on. You didn't say you were done, you just faded day by day. You were letting go quietly, and I didn't know how to make you stay. Your touch grew lighter lately, like it didn't wanna stay. You listened without answering, nodded, then looked away. I kept explaining the silence, calling it a phase, but silence was just you practicing how to leave without saying anything. I thought patience would remind you of everything we were, but patience only made it easier for you to slowly unlearn us. You were letting go quietly, still calling me your home. I was building something real while you were learning how to be alone. We didn't break in one moment, we unraveled in small ways. You were letting go quietly, and I stayed too loud in my hope. Maybe love ends in whispers, not in words meant to hurt. Maybe hearts leave early to soften what comes after. I don't regret loving you openly, I regret the signs I excuse, because letting go quietly still leaves someone loudly bruised. Now I walk with clearer knowing, listening when silence speaks. I won't wait in half-filled moments for love that's already midway, leaving me still. Some nights I feel the echo of what I tried to save. How you were letting go quietly while I was begging love to stay. You were letting go quietly, and now I let you go too. Not erasing what we were, just honoring what was true. I remember us with tenderness, not regret, not blame. You were letting go quietly, but loving you still meant something all the same. Some goodbyes don't need a sound, they happen when one heart lets go. So softly the other only hears it after. After started choosing our words too carefully, like truth might do some harm. I held my breath in conversations, afraid to set off an alarm. I missed when love felt like shelter, not something to defend. Somewhere between silence and fear, love stopped feeling like home. I felt it in the way we hesitated before saying what was real. Some love doesn't break from anger, it breaks when it no longer feels safe to feel. Love didn't feel safe anymore, so we stopped being honest out loud. We hid our pain behind patience, called silence, keeping the peace somehow. We didn't stop caring, we just learned how to brace. Love didn't feel safe anymore, and slowly lost its place. You looked at me like one wrong sentence might push you too far away. I swallowed everything I was feeling just to make you stay. We learned how to protect each other by not saying what was true. But love shouldn't feel like walking on glass just to stay close to you. I thought quiet meant we were surviving, that calm would help us heal. But love can't live where honesty feels dangerous to reveal. Love didn't feel safe anymore, even when we held hands tight. Our bodies stayed close together, but our hearts stayed guarded. Every night we didn't end with shouting, just a slow emotional retreat. Love didn't feel safe anymore, and learned how to quietly leave. Maybe love needs courage more than comfort, more than peace that hides the truth. Maybe being safe means being heard, not pretending you're fine when you're not okay too. I don't regret the love we shared, I regret the fear we chose, because love doesn't die from honesty, it dies when honesty is exposed as unsafe. Now I'm learning what love should feel like, a place where I can breathe, where my truth doesn't feel like a threat, where I don't have to shrink me. Still some nights I remember us before we built the walls, back when love felt safe to be broken, safe to feel it all. Love didn't feel safe anymore, but I won't blame myself, not erasing what we were, just understanding why we couldn't help. I'll choose a love where honesty betrayal. It ends when being honest feels more dangerous than being alone. You were still right there beside me, but something wasn't the same. Your laugh didn't reach your eyes, and love stopped saying my name. I kept holding on to memories like they were proof we'd stay, but every day you felt more distant in the smallest possible ways. I felt the loss before the ending, and how you slowly changed. Some people leave without leaving. They fade while standing in the same place. I missed who you used to be while you were still with me. I grieve the love we once were in real time. Quietly, you didn't turn cold overnight. You just became less you. I missed who you used to be before love felt new to you. You stopped asking how I was, started answering for me. We talked about the surface things, avoiding what we used to feel deeply. I watched the tenderness fade, pretended it was fine, but my heart was already missing a version of you that no longer had time. Thought change was just a season, that love would circle back, but love can change so quietly. You don't notice what you lack. I missed who you used to be, still sleeping by your side. I felt alone in familiar arms, night after night. We didn't fight, we didn't break, you just slowly withdrew. I missed who you used to be while learning I was losing you. Maybe people grow in directions that love can't always follow. Maybe staying isn't about effort, but about who you are tomorrow. I don't regret loving who you became. I regret holding on too long to someone who was already gone, even though they were still here all along. Now I walk with softer memories, letting truth replace the ache. I don't chase who you aren't anymore. I don't ask love to wait. Still some nights I feel the echo of how we used to be, how I missed who you used to be before you slowly stopped choosing me. I missed who you used to be, but I see it clearly now. Not blaming how you changed, just accepting how I'll remember you with tenderness, not regret, not blame. I missed who you used to be, but loving you still meant something all the same. different sides. I carry more of the way you said you were trying, and I felt myself adjusting daily just to keep us standing still. But love shouldn't feel like tipping every time one heart bends a will. I felt the shift beneath our feet long before we felt some love doesn't break in one moment. It tilts until it can't balance anymore. We lost balance slowly, didn't feel it at first. We kept pretending we were steady while the ground quietly hurt. I leaned in harder, you leaned away from me. We lost balance slowly, and love couldn't breathe evenly. You asked for space, I asked for truth, both afraid of the fall. I kept holding us together, you stopped holding at all. We called it just a rough phase, said time would understand, but time just showed how uneven we were trying to stand. I thought compromise meant survival, that less would help us stay. But love can't live on one heartbeat when the other steps away. We lost balance slowly, still holding hands at night, but my heart was always reaching while yours stayed out of sight. We didn't break, we didn't fight, we just stopped equally. We lost balance slowly, and love fell between you and me. Maybe love needs equal footing, not one heart carrying more. Maybe balance is the quiet proof that both are standing for the same door. I don't regret the love I gave, I regret what I excused, because loving someone unevenly means someone always loses. Now I walk with steadier steps, learning what love should feel like. I won't tell myself again just to keep someone in sight. Still some nights I feel the echo of how we tried to be, how we lost balance slowly before love ever left completely. We lost balance slowly, and now I see it clear. Love needs more than good intentions, it needs both hearts here. I'll give my love where it's returned, where effort's shared and free. We lost balance slowly, but that taught me what love should be. Some love doesn't fall apart suddenly, it leans until one side can't hold anymore. like nothing had changed. Your voice stays steady, like love was never in pain. I stood there holding the weight of everything we were. You left without looking back, as if letting go was easier than feeling hurt. I felt the ending in your peace, and how easy you could leave. Some love doesn't end in anger, it ends when one heart feels relief. You walked away calmly while I was breaking inside. You carried your closer lightly, left me with the nights we didn't fight, we didn't cry. You just said take care softly. You walked away calmly, and I learned goodbyes don't always sound heavy. You folded us in a silence, like it was the kindest way. I searched your face for something that might ask you to stay. You said you'd always wish me well, like that was enough. But wishing isn't the same as staying when love still hurts this much. I thought calm and compassion, that peace meant you still care. But calm can hide how finished someone is when their heart is already elsewhere. You walked away calmly, with nothing left to explain. I replayed every moment, wondering what I missed along the way. You didn't slam the door, you didn't raise your voice. You walked away calmly, like leaving was an easy choice. Maybe love ends quietly when one is already grieved. Maybe calm is just the sound of someone who's already free. I don't regret loving you deeply. I regret not seeing the sign that you had already left emotionally long before that final goodbye. Now I walk through quieter days, learning how to breathe again. I don't chase after calm exits or beg someone to feel what they no longer can. Still some nights I feel the ache of how gently you wake, how you walked away calmly and took all the noise with you. You walked away calmly, and I'm finding my ground, not erasing what we were, just listening to the sound of my own heart healing slowly without regret or blame. You walked away calmly, but loving you still meant something. room feels small without you, but your echo still remains. I see you in the corners of the quiet I can't explain. Time keeps moving forward, but my heart takes a memory. Because even when you're not here, love still finds me. I thought leaving would erase you, that distance would make it fade. But some love doesn't live in presence, it lives in what we once gave. Love still lives in memory, even when we don't speak. It breathes in all the moments I try not to keep. You may be gone from my life, but not from what I knew. Love still lives in memory, and every memory still feels like you. Your name still feels familiar, like it belongs to me. I hear it in old conversations, in the songs we used to need. I don't reach out anymore, I let the silence speak. But silence doesn't mean forgetting, it just means learning how to grieve. I thought healing meant forgetting, letting every feeling die. But healing is learning to remember without asking why. Love still lives in memory, soft but holding strong. It shows up in the places where the past still belongs. We didn't last forever, but what we felt was true. Love still lives in memory, even now I carry you. Maybe love doesn't need to stay to matter in the end. Maybe it changes shape, but never really ends. I don't regret the love we shared, or how deeply I believed. Because love that once was real doesn't disappear, it just learns to live in memory. Now I walk with gentler thoughts, letting time be kind. I don't chase what couldn't stay, I don't force what's left behind. Still some nights I feel you near, not painful, not brand new, just a quiet reminder that love once lived, and in memory still does too. Love still lives in memory, and I've made peace with that. Now holding on to what we lost, just honoring what we had. I'll let the past stay where it belongs, without regret or blame. Love still lives in memory, and I'm grateful it knew my name. was real. They ask me why I'm still quiet, why the hurt hasn't left. Like healing follows schedules, like hearts don't need a rest. I smile and change the subject, say I'm learning to be fine. But pain doesn't fade on demand, it listens when it's ready to unwind. I've learned not to chase the ending or force myself to move. Some healing doesn't come from leaving fast, it comes from staying with the truth. I'll heal without rushing, without pretending I'm okay. I won't run from what I'm feeling just to make the world more comfortable today. I'll let the nights finish their sentences, I'll let my heart take time. I'll heal without rushing, letting the pain soften in its own time. I still feel you in small moments, in the songs we used to play. Some days I'm stronger than yesterday, some days I'm not that brave. I don't measure progress anymore, I don't race the past. I'm learning healing isn't forward motion, sometimes it's just standing still and breathing at last. I thought strength meant letting go fast, proving I survived. But strength can look like staying gentle with what's still alive inside. I'll heal without rushing, even if it takes a while. I won't fake closure for applause or wear a borrowed smile. I'll sit with what still aches in me, I'll let it speak its mind. I'll heal without rushing, because healing doesn't listen to time. Maybe healing isn't fixing, maybe it's learning how to feel. Maybe letting yourself break quietly is how you slowly heal. I don't regret the love I gave or how deeply I felt, because healing doesn't mean I lost, it means I lived and felt it well. Now I move with softer boundaries, listening to my chest. I don't know the world, my recovery, I owe my heart rest. Still some nights I feel the ache, but it doesn't scare me now. It's just proof that I'm still human, and healing is happening somehow. I'll heal without rushing, and I'm proud of how I tried. Not erasing where I've been, just honoring the nights I cried. I'll open my heart again someday, but only when it's kind. I'll heal without rushing, and that will be enough for me this time. Healing doesn't need permission. It happens when you stop chasing the finish and finally let your heart walk at its own pace.